A young woman with intellectual disabilities vanishes without a trace. That's the latest cold case file we're taking a look at. Rebecca Reid's disappearance has shaken the small Pearl River County community where she grew up. Jennifer Lott has been digging into this case, trying to help bring some answers to a grieving family.
That's right, Karen. Rebecca Reid's sister was the last one to see her on January 24th, 2020. Now, police have conducted hundreds of interviews, have a stockpile of false leads. 3 years have passed. Rebecca's family members and the community who loved her say it's time to bring her home.
Something so big happened out here in the middle of nowhere.
It makes you look at your neighbors.
It's not like you say, okay, we've got a crime scene here, we can investigate this and gather evidence. You just have a person who's just disappeared.
We've looked everywhere. There's no sign of her at all.
And about dark, I get the phone call from my dad. She's not at home. And that's when everything started, and here it is 3 years later. Still nothing.
Hundreds of volunteers searching by horseback, ATVs, and drones, combing through more than 1,000 acres in this small farming community of Pearl River County, all to find a special needs woman who vanished without a trace, leaving behind her ID and life-saving medication. Close relatives say Rebecca Reid's disappearance has left a hole in their hearts.
Never did I ever see her without getting a big hug and kiss. She was just a sweet little girl. She really was.
Rebecca was 32 years old when she disappeared around 4 in the afternoon on January 24th, 2020. Her sister, Veda, says Rebecca left their house on a mile-long trek through the woods to walk their dad home from the farm.
Rebecca was last seen walking down here on Leetown.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think she made it this far?
I don't know.
She was very scared of the dark. And when she would have left the house, it would have been dusk. That's been one of our hesitation that she actually came this far.
I left for work that day, and I left her in our driveway at the house, and then Dad with his Alzheimer's, it was getting dark, and he got concerned and called me at work, and I posted a post on Facebook, had anybody seen her?
There was a lady reported that she had saw Rebecca walking down Leetown Road, and that there was a white SUV stopped near where she was walking. So that was what everybody was focused on, that maybe she had gotten into that white SUV.
That was a trailblazer that was seen in the area. Of course, you know, that was a possible lead that was followed up on. There's no real hardcore evidence, you know, saying that at this point in time that it had anything to do with it.
Rebecca's family says she never would have approached a stranger for a ride.
If somebody took her, it was somebody that knew her, because she would have not gotten into a vehicle with anyone. And I don't think anybody could have forced Rebecca into a vehicle. She had asthma, she had high blood pressure, she had diabetes, and she was obese.
The family, before they reported it to us, had already initiated a search. We've used all the technology that we have available to us, and yes, it has been searched multiple times. There's been foot search, drone searched, and you know, brought dogs in.
If she's not in these dense woods, where is she?
There's been a couple of supposedly sightings. One was in Mobile, Alabama, and they went and checked that, and there was nothing to that.
There's been, oh my goodness, hundreds of interviews already done on this case.
Rebecca's own sister, Veda, says she's been questioned.
No, I have. I've been through the ringer. I was one of the suspects because I was one of the last people to see her before she went missing.
Veda says she has no knowledge of the disappearance and is not a suspect. Veda says she'd been uneasy about Rebecca's relationship with the wife of the pastor at the church her sister had attended. Veda says Rebecca gave that woman access to her bank account. Police say they have questioned that woman, but neither she nor anyone associated with the church have been named as suspects. The woman says she was staying with a relative when Rebecca went missing and had nothing to do with her disappearance. According to law enforcement, Rebecca's bank account with disability and Social Security payments has remained untouched since her disappearance. Investigators aren't giving up on the case and will pursue any lead they need to.
You know, we'll go back tomorrow and search if we can get a lead that we need to go back and do that. We'd love to bring her home to the family.
family members hope 3 years without answers doesn't turn into a decade without closure.
After a while, you kind of lose hope, but I don't want to lose hope, you know.
Our goal was to have her home. And every time somebody says they've seen her, it does bring hope. You pray that that is her. I mean, if she wasn't happy and she left on her own, then she's a grown woman. That's her prerogative. But we want to know where she's at and if she's okay.
When we come back, we'll talk about the key takeaways from Rebecca's case and discuss any lingering questions.